Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to my today's discussion. Uh, Political temperatures appears to be rising day after day as we approach the 9th August, the D-Day, where the electorates are entitled to choose their leaders. However, the events of 19th during the Courier's homecoming or prayer day event that was held in Thika Stadium or Thika Ground leaves us with a lot of questions to ask. The allegation leveled on that day, to me, they are very serious, shocking, and alarming statements. And while people have taken it to the social media to another level and term them as careless, insightful, and irresponsible, to me, I tend to look at it from Chinua Achebe's approach in his book, A Man of the People, where he asked, and I quote, "If an alligator comes out of water one day and tells you the crocodile is sick, would you trust the story?" A few weeks ago, the President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta talked of spilling the beans on the table. And when he said this, we saw the Yuda soldiers responding with a lot of bitterness. And at one point, they were talking about the KEMSA scandal, which, according to their own understanding, that might be the biggest scandal of the time. I don't disagree with them or agree with them, but when the president said that time has come to spill the beans on the table, they responded very fast. One, Adan Duale, was on the screen claiming that they have a lot to say than what we thought. And to me, this is the time that we shall be able to get the real image of both sides and what was happening in the darkness that we were not able to see. Again, when you look at what is happening today, you will hear this hashtag that is on Twitter. I've been able to look at my phone and I saw a hashtag that is trending, Kenyans on Twitter, lower the food prices. However, ironically, some of the people who are on the social media spreading this hashtag are still in government and are still earning salaries from the taxpayers' money from those increased prices of commodity. So the question that we ask ourselves is that, are they trying to fool us because they are still in government and the skyrocketing of prices have been part of what they have been doing in government, and today they are telling us the prices of commodity to be lowered? Anyway, that one aside, it will be a topic for another day. Today, I want to take this opportunity to discuss with you about the statement made by one Stanley Livondo. Now, talking about this allegation by Stanley Livondo, because I want to call them allegation because they haven't been proven. Talking about this allegation leveled on this day, on this Moses Kuria homecoming or prayer day by one Stanley Livondo, the question that we need to ask ourselves is that being on the campaign period, or this being the campaign period, while we may want to look at Livondo's statement as mere propaganda, there are very many questions that we need to ask ourselves. Remember, in one of my videos I said, in politics, nothing happens as a coincidence. Everything is well planned, well masterminded, and then executed to achieve a certain political interest. So before I look at even what Livondo was trying to say, I would wish we are able to address, or I am able to bring to your attention some of the highlights of the meeting that was held in Thika. But before I do that, there are 5 questions that we should be in a position to answer if we had we want to understand or we want to critically assess the statement made by one Stanley Livondo. Question number one, who is Stanley Livondo? We must find out that where does Stanley Livondo exist, or where can we put him in terms of the political positions or political players in the country. Number two question that we should be able to respond to is that who invited Stanley Livondo in Kuria's homecoming meeting? If we are able to know who invited Livondo, then it will be easy for us to respond to the question that who is Livondo here. Number three, we must also be able to ask ourselves and respond to the question, what was the intention of Stanley Livondo in revealing or in the revelation that he made in that meeting? Number four, apart from the statement he made, we must also be able to ask ourselves, what was the response of the crowd? How did the crowd respond to Livondo's sentiment? And lastly, what is next for the people mentioned in the allegation that were made by one Stanley Livondo? Now, Stanley Livondo, if you look at our media, has been described as a businessman, a flamboyant businessman, and a one-time activist of political parties. He has no specific political parties to be linked to. However, he's known to have this character of setting himself or surviving in political parties that are within the power circle. So the question that we need to ask ourselves is that who invited Stanley Livondo in Kuria's meeting? Of course, most of us, the response that we'll give is that it is Moses Kuria himself. And then the third question is that what was the motive of inviting one Stanley Livondo in that meeting? Because if you look at events that unfolded on this particular day, you realize that they happened systematically from one thing to the other. And the MC, if you can remember very well, I'm not sure, but I think Kabando Wakabando was the MC during this meeting. And then I saw very well Kabando Wakabando inviting Stanley Livondo to speak. Stanley Livondo came up very clearly with a message to the people, and that the people he was addressing was the people from Kikuyu land. And he talked to them very passionately, with a lot of feelings, that is. And we saw him making that allegation. I don't want to talk about it. Everybody saw it. Is in the social media everywhere. And he wants the crowd. The reaction of the crowd to Stanley Livondo's message is something that we must be very keen about it. We must look at it keenly. Are these allegations meant to steer division among the Mount Kenya community and William Samoei Ruto or the UDA brigade? I'm not sure what it was meant for. However, if you look at how the sentiment have been attached or the statement have been created, they seem to attach someone. They seem to attach someone in it, and in the process create division between the UDA brigade and the other group, especially the Mount Kenya group. So what was the intention? I've seen a few of the UDA soldiers going on social media. I think Kericho Senator was one of the people who was on the social media, terming Livondo's statement as reckless and careless, and he was asking where is the DCI. I also saw Itumbi making a statement and claiming that the DCI has refused to arrest Stanley Livondo for making those claims. So basically, these are very serious allegations, as I've said, and alarming information to many people. And the question that we're asking ourselves is that if the National Intelligence Service had this information, how did they allow such information to leak in public when the president is still sitting, or we still have the sitting president in power? Number two, what was the intention of inviting Stanley Livondo in this meeting? Was he sent by somebody to pass the message? I leave it to you to make your own decision on the same, because as I've said, this is a very sensitive allegation that we cannot keep on discussing about it. But as I said in the beginning, in politics, nothing happened out of mere coincidence. Everything is well planned, masterminded, and then executed to achieve a certain political goal. I want to leave it there. Let us meet in our next discussion. Have a blessed afternoon.